The year 2025 promises to be a true paradise for open-world game lovers. With grand narratives and increasingly detailed maps, filled with adventures and secrets, studios are betting big on immersive experiences that go far beyond simple missions. For those who love exploring vast territories, facing unpredictable challenges, and getting lost in deep stories, this year brings a series of releases that promise to take the genre to an unprecedented level. From alien deserts, bustling cities, dark forests, to futuristic colonies, each of these games promises a unique journey. Whatever your adventure style, fighting colossal creatures, solving mysteries, or building your own legacy, this video has something for everyone. Get ready to discover 19 games that are set to dominate the year and leave their mark among the best open-world games. I'm Jax, and if you're new here, welcome to the Play Hunters channel, where I bring you daily content so you won't miss a single detail of the gaming universe. And if you could subscribe to help me grow, I'd be really happy. From one gamer to another. Opening our list, we have Monster Hunter Wilds, a game that promises to crank up the adrenaline with intense battles and unpredictable landscapes. Imagine exploring the Forbidden Lands, a region where the environment shifts dramatically with sudden weather changes. The game's concept is simple. Step into the role of a hunter and face colossal monsters using more than brute strength. Your arsenal is versatile, with weapons that adapt based on resources found during expeditions. Forging armor from the creatures you defeat adds an exciting sense of progression. Another standout feature is how the world evolves alongside your character. As monsters grow fiercer, the terrain itself can become an ally or a deadly threat. Dynamic environments filled with life constantly reshape the battlefield, forcing you to stay sharp. The ever-changing landscape turns the journey into a true survival test. With each step into the unknown, the line between hunter and hunted blurs in this intense and unpredictable adventure. Next, we have Ananta, which emerges as one of the most ambitious promises of 2025. Set in Nova City, a futuristic metropolis inspired by New York, the game promises an open-world experience filled with freedom and possibilities. The narrative unfolds in a world where chaos has become a tangible force, capable of transforming urban legends into real dangers. The player assumes the role of an agent tasked with investigating and containing this phenomenon while exploring a vibrant city full of secrets. Every detail of the environment seems designed to create a sense of grandeur and mystery, promising surprises and unpredictable events at every corner. Another exciting feature is the dynamic combat, with a stylized approach that blends quick action and movement strategies, all wrapped in a vibrant and expansive urban setting. This game has everything to be one of the biggest surprises of the year. In third place, Ghost of Yōtei appears as a new journey marked by mysticism and the clash between tradition and change. The setting unfolds in a wild land, with snow-covered peaks, dense forests, and fields where the wind seems to carry forgotten stories, promising even more impressive levels of detail in this new generation. What is known is that her combat style brings new dynamics besides wielding two katanas at once. She will also use chains and ranged weapons, expanding her options during duels. The presence of wild animals and sudden changes in terrain conditions indicate that exploration will be marked by both beauty and danger. Anyone seeking an engaging narrative with battles that demand focus and skill will find a challenge worthy of the most epic stories about honor and overcoming. In fourth place, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2 promises to expand its medieval journey with an even vaster and more immersive world. Known for its realistic approach, the game offers a setting that ranges from small villages and forests to grand castles. Every detail seems to have been designed to recreate the tense atmosphere of a kingdom in the midst of civil war. The publisher has already hinted that the map will be twice as large as the first game, promising varied areas for exploration and memorable moments in different points of this historically rich landscape. This time, The combat system has been redesigned to be even more faithful to medieval martial arts. The feeling of weight and impact during battles promises to be striking, with the introduction of refined swordsmanship styles, long-range weapons like crossbows, and the first experiments with gunpowder. Another exciting aspect is the strengthening of RPG elements, allowing for deep customization and decisions that significantly impact the narrative. It's an ambitious proposal that promises to transport the player to an era of conflicts and intrigues, with the freedom to carve their own path amid the chaos. In fifth place on our list, Assassin's Creed Shadows promises to take the series to a new level by exploring feudal Japan. With settings ranging from fortified cities to isolated temples, bustling ports, and war-devastated fields, the game seems to offer a vast world full of stories waiting to be discovered. In this journey, the player will follow two warriors with completely distinct styles: a shinobi, master of stealth, who uses darkness and speed to confuse his enemies, and a skilled samurai, who delivers lethal blows with pure precision and strength. The alternation between these styles promises a dynamic and strategic gameplay pace, with missions that can be solved either with cunning or direct combat. This freedom and approach enhances the epic and unpredictable tone of the narrative. Another interesting point is the building of a personalized hideout, which becomes the base of operations and home to a new league of warriors. This not only provides moments of calm between missions, but also turns every decision into a key piece for strengthening your information network and expanding your influence across the world. In sixth place, Crimson Desert stands out as an epic journey set in a continent marked by stunning contrasts and dark conflicts. Each territory carries its own story and dangers that may surprise at any moment, promising to turn exploration into something fascinating and unpredictable. The narrative places the player in the role of a warrior leading a resistance against an enemy capable of threatening the entire land. With battles in devastated fields and forgotten fortresses, the mission involves gathering allies from different backgrounds and resolving intrigues that could determine the continent's future. The combat system promises intense and unpredictable battles, with precise strikes and varied tactics. The battle scenarios seem designed to create ambushes, duels, and epic confrontations, placing the player against powerful and challenging enemies, making each step on this hostile land a true test of strength and perseverance. In seventh place, Like a Dragon pirate, Yakuza in Hawaii promises an offbeat pirate adventure, full of absurdly stylized combat and plenty of personality. The story begins when a former Yakuza mysteriously finds himself as a pirate captain on a journey across the high seas. With no memories of his past life, he embarks on a wild search for answers and a legendary treasure. Between brutal battles and cannon explosions, this journey blends the chaos of the seas with the charm of a true anti-hero who must reinvent himself. Ocean exploration is a central element, and the promise of real-time naval battles raises expectations even further. The big difference lies in the ability to switch between unique fighting styles. The first, agile and unpredictable, focuses on quick attacks that confuse opponents. The second style is pure brutality, allowing you to wield two short swords and use clever tricks to finish off enemies with pirate flair. Everything points to an adventure packed with action, unexpected twists, and legendary confrontations across the seven seas. In eighth place, Fable arrives promising to reclaim the charm that made the franchise famous. Although many details are still shrouded in mystery, the trailers released have already given clues about a world filled with magical adventures and unpredictable situations. Between enchanted forests, lively villages, and fantastic creatures, the setting seems carefully designed to transport players to a land where every choice counts, and every action can trigger unexpected consequences. The plot seems to revolve around a retired hero who returns to action when an old enemy reappears, bringing secrets from the past that could change the course of the story. Although the protagonist is customizable, it seems he will be trained by this legendary figure, which could create an interesting dynamic between learning and rivalry. The freedom to explore the world and encounter side missions and eccentric characters reinforces the promise of a rich and captivating narrative. The game promises to be a modern celebration of everything that made the series one of the most beloved in the RPG genre. In ninth place, Hell Is Us promises to be an engaging and disturbing journey, marked by mysteries and brutal combat. Set in a land devastated by war and supernatural calamity, the game places the player in the heart of a conflict where conventional weapons are useless against the threats that have emerged. Grotesque creatures and lethal chimeras roam this isolated region, and it's up to you to face them with weapons forged in an ancient era and a drone that serves both for exploration and combat assistance. The exploration system is a significant differentiator. Without maps, compasses, or mission markers, the game relies on the player's intuition as the main guide. This makes the journey feel more personal and stimulating, where each discovery feels like a real achievement. Instead of following a fixed route, you become responsible for charting your own path in a semi-open world filled with dark secrets and difficult choices. This freedom, combined with an innovative design, enhances immersion and challenges players to trust their instincts. The combat is visceral and demands precision, with a range of swords, axes, and spears crafted to face supernatural beings. The creatures have unpredictable behaviors and seem to react to your actions in an organic way, making each encounter unique. The game's central theme, which reflects on the cyclical nature of human violence, promises to add a special depth to the narrative. More than just a survival journey, Hell Is Us presents itself as an introspective experience, where facing monsters can be as challenging as dealing with one's own internal demons. In 10th place, Clair Obscur Expedition 33 brings a unique and bold proposal that blends emotion, mystery, and a deep sense of urgency. The story revolves around a cruel cycle of disappearances led by the enigmatic Artificer, who annually chooses a number and erases everyone of that age. With the number 33 about to be painted, a group of brave expeditions men unites for one last mission to end the curse before they are the next to disappear. The combat stands out with a combination of classic turn-based RPG mechanics and real-time action, creating dynamic and strategic battles. Dodging and counterattacking requires precision, and the possibility of opening dimensions during confrontations promises to intensify the duels. Customizing the expedition members with unique equipment and abilities is essential for overcoming adversities and building powerful synergies. Each successful strike is a step towards victory, while mistakes can be fatal in a journey where every second counts. The game world, inspired by the Belle Époque, is enchanting and surreal. Landscapes with forgotten ruins, magical forests, and mysterious villages form a fascinating and melancholic setting. Throughout the adventure, dark secrets and memories of past expeditions are revealed, reinforcing the weight of the mission and deepening the connection with the characters. With stunning graphics made in Unreal Engine 5 and an immersive soundtrack, Clair Obscur promises to be not only a story of resistance, but also an emotional journey that remains alive in memory even after its end. In 11th place, Death Stranding 2 returns with the promise of further expanding the boundaries between narrative and gameplay. The desolate and unpredictable world presented before seems to have evolved into something even more intense, with atmospheres that transition between the melancholic and apocalyptic. New coastal settings, relentless storms, and mysterious ruins suggest that the journey will be marked not only by isolation, but by a deep sense of reconstruction and loss. The plot, surrounded by secrets, hints at a reunion with humanity's deepest dilemmas: sacrifice, bonds, and redemption. The protagonist's choices will likely have real weight, influencing their path and relationships with other characters. Everything suggests that the concept of connection between people and territories will be expanded, not only within the narrative but also in the game mechanics. The journey promises more than just deliveries, and crossings every step could reflect the protagonist's own decisions and the impact they have on the fragmented world around them. The new systems of transportation and interaction will be crucial in facing the threats that inhabit the unexplored regions. The creatures that challenge the unknown seem more hostile, and the climate itself remains a constant obstacle. Whether you followed the first story or are just starting, it all points to this chapter being more tense and emotional, with moments that could transform solitude into a true test of endurance and courage. In 12th place, Avowed presents an epic adventure in a mystical land full of ancient secrets and rising danger. The journey takes place in the mysterious Living Land, an island filled with beauty and dangers, marked by a plague threatening to destroy everything in its path. As a traveler from afar, you arrive to investigate dark rumors and soon realize that something deeply personal is tied to your presence there. Each region of the island has its own ecosystem, from vibrant forests to dark caves, creating an environment that feels almost alive, full of stories waiting to be discovered. Freedom in combat choice is one of the major attractions. With sharp swords, powerful spells, and precise bows, the player can combine abilities to create a unique fighting style. Chaining weapon strikes and casting spells to confuse or eliminate enemies promises intense and strategic battles. Whether facing threatening creatures in ambushes or exploring forgotten ruins, combat offers more than strength. It requires tactics and adaptation to the constantly changing scenery and opponents. Another important aspect is the presence of companions with strong personalities and their own stories. They're not just battle allies, but part of a storyline that evolves based on the choices made throughout the mission. Their personal stories can change depending on decisions taken, influencing not only the outcomes of missions, but also the bonds forged along the way. With its rich narrative filled with dilemmas and a setting full of life, Avowed promises to be a dive into a universe where every choice and every battle carries significant weight. In 13th place, Subnautica 2 invites players to explore a new alien oceanic world full of mysteries and challenges. Building underwater bases, searching mysterious ruins, and gathering resources as a team promises to make survival even more immersive. The possibility of customizing submarines, tools, and even the character's body promises an innovative approach. Studying the local fauna and using genetic samples may be the key to surviving in extreme environments. But meddling with genetics could come at an unexpected cost. In a game where survival depends not only on ingenuity, but also on bold adaptation and choices, Subnautica 2 promises to elevate everything that made the first game a success. In 14th place, Atomfall presents a narrative of action and survival set in a scenario inspired by a nuclear disaster that forever changed history. Set in a fictional quarantine zone in the British countryside, the game transforms idyllic landscapes with green hills and isolated villages into a stage of mystery and tension. The seemingly peaceful environment hides bizarre cults, corrupt agents, and enigmatic figures that test the player's sanity and sense of justice. Each encounter brings fragmented stories that build a dark mystery to be uncovered. Survival depends on careful exploration and quick decisions. Scavenging ruins, exploring underground shelters, and searching for resources are essential to stay alive. Weapons and ammunition are limited, making each combat a test of strategy and precision. When the bullets run out, hand-to-hand combat becomes brutal, with improvised weapons like an old cricket bat becoming your last line of defense. Elevated heart rates affect aim and can be just as merciless as external threats. With a narrative full of choices and consequences, Atomfall blends science fiction, psychological horror, and intrigue inspired by the paranoid climate of the Cold War. The combination of iconic reimagined locations and a player-driven plot promises a unique and immersive experience. More than just a fight for survival, the journey is a quest for answers in a place where the line between the real and the supernatural blurs, and where every decision could bring you closer to the truth or ruin. In 15th place, Borderlands 4 promises to take players to a planet ravaged by chaos and ruled with brutality by an unrelenting dictator. The catastrophe threatening this seemingly perfect society should be the spark for a large-scale rebellion. And this is where the new hunters come in, determined to overthrow this authoritarian regime and become legends. With promises of intense combat and an insane arsenal, the game seeks to maintain its irreverent tone and deliver epic moments full of gunfire, explosions, and opportunities to stand out with unique abilities. The gameplay is expected to maintain the explosive essence of the series, but with new layers of customization. The expectation is for more complex talent trees and agile movements that can change how each confrontation is approached. If the franchise's legacy is upheld, the battles should be frenetic, with monstrous enemies and abundant loot. The use of bizarre weapons and unusual strategies promises to turn every clash into a true choreography of destruction. Another highlight is the cooperative mode, which allows up to 3 friends to join the action to face challenging bosses and explore everything the planet has to offer. Expectations are high for encounters with charismatic characters, dialogue filled with sarcasm, and a narrative that blends humor and adventure. In 16th place, The Outer Worlds 2 appears as one of the most awaited sequels for sci-fi RPG fans. With a new war-torn colony and cosmic mysteries to uncover, the proposal seems even more ambitious. The player assumes the role of an agent sent to investigate devastating rifts that threaten the stability of the entire colony. Every step in the investigation promises to reveal deep secrets about the warring factions and put alliances and values to the test. The narrative suggests a universe in constant transformation, where each choice can influence not only the major events, but also the bonds with the characters you meet. Shaping the protagonist to be a shrewd diplomat, a precise strategist, or an agent of chaos adds a layer of customization that should directly impact the events. The companions also play a crucial role, bringing their own stories and goals, which can be strengthened or ruined depending on the decisions made during the journey. The setting of the new colony promises to be vast and full of contrasts. From collapsing urban zones to desolate regions marked by territorial disputes, each location seems to hold unique secrets and dangers. The fight for control of the mysterious rifts promises to be a key element, forcing the player to choose between fragile alliances and bold actions. With complex choices and a setting marked by power struggles, the journey appears to be a blend of exploration and moral dilemmas that will keep players intrigued from start to finish. In 17th place, Dune Awakening brings a brutal setting where survival and power walk hand in hand in a vast alien desert. Amid struggles for precious resources and fights for control over territories, every decision seems to count. The environment is inhospitable and merciless, and beyond facing other groups in search of influence, players will have to deal with devastating natural phenomena and the constant threat of an unbalanced world. The concept of freedom seems to be one of the central pillars, allowing you to build shelters, recruit allies, and explore ruins while adapting strategies to survive and thrive. Resource gathering and tool crafting are essential, but nothing is simple. The terrain may hide more than it appears, and every excursion into the more dangerous areas may end up becoming a battle for territory. In the midst of it all, knowing when to negotiate, when to retreat, and when to engage in combat will be critical. Besides the survival aspects, there's a strong emphasis on power struggles and rivalries between different factions. Some alliances may last just long enough to achieve a common goal, while others may determine the course of great war campaigns. The idea of exploring every corner of the map, uncovering secrets, and leading a group through such merciless settings seems to be the heart of this adventure. In 18th place, Mafia: The Old Country presents a crime and survival narrative set in the underworld of a land marked by traditions and rivalries. Set at the beginning of the 20th century, The game focuses on the journey of a young man trying to rise within a powerful crime organization. The setting includes rural landscapes with dirt roads and open fields, as well as narrow alleys and cities, where every corner could hide an ambush. The historical period reflects the transition to a new era of transportation and technology. Players will be able to travel long distances either by horseback or driving the first automobiles. The missions promise to recreate an immersive atmosphere, with cobblestone streets and outposts used to plan actions and gather information. The fidelity to the historical context is reinforced by the Sicilian voice acting, aligned with the culture of the time. The combat seems designed to capture the brutality of the era, with intense hand-to-hand fights and an arsenal that includes traditional firearms like sawed-off shotguns. The focus on quick tactics and limited resources suggests that the player will need to plan each confrontation carefully. By swearing loyalty to a crime family, you must follow a strict code of conduct, and any slip-up can have permanent consequences. In 19th place, Dying Light: The Beast presents a new survival journey in a post-apocalyptic world overtaken by infection. Set in a vast forest that was once a busy tourist destination, the setting is now full of ruins, abandoned villages, and forgotten industrial complexes, serving as home to unimaginable horrors. After escaping years of captivity and brutal experiments, the protagonist seeks revenge against his former captors, only to discover that the region holds even darker secrets. The forest is a treacherous territory, where parkour can be used to cross ravines and ruined structures or gain an advantage over enemies. Abandoned vehicles can also be found to cover large distances more safely. During the day, there are more opportunities to explore and help survivors, but at night, the scenario changes drastically. The night awakens the worst horrors, forcing players to choose between fleeing, fighting, or hiding in the shadows to survive until dawn. The combat system promises a visceral approach, with hand-to-hand attacks enhanced by supernatural abilities gained after the experiments. The presence of a latent power in the protagonist offers a new way to face the night's creatures, but the price of this strength is as mysterious as its true potential. The adventure can be experienced solo or in cooperative mode with up to 4 players, allowing group strategies to explore the surroundings or face the creatures haunting this world together. And tell me, which of these games would you play? Did any catch your curiosity, and you'll keep an eye on it? We'd love to know which one grabbed your attention the most. Share in the comments which upcoming release you're most excited to play. And as I always say, don't buy anything on pre-order. Wait for the game to come out to see if it's not broken. If you can, subscribe to the channel to help me grow and never be in doubt about what to play again. I'm leaving 2 videos on the card, one that I selected for you and another that YouTube picked. Just click on either one to watch. Big hug, enjoy the game, and see you tomorrow.